So welcome to this client interview. I'm here with one of my clients called Agnes. She's been a client for a pretty decent amount of time right now, and she joined, I think, back in February, if I'm right.
January. So
January.
at the
And
end of December.
yeah, she's from Canada, and she basically joined the program for various reasons. And basically, we're here right now on this call to just talk about her journey, and what she's been up to. So, would you mind telling everyone a bit more about yourself?
So obviously I'm Agnes. I am 32 years old. I have a pretty extensive, I guess, background you can say in various different types of experiences. Basically, I had gone to school for law enforcement. I did security for about 10, 11 years. Um, Always kind of questioned the route. It's a very different type of life, I guess.
Mm.
But near the end, I just decided it wasn't for me. I didn't like the routine, the shifting of the nights to the days, to honestly, just my mental health in general, because you're constantly put in positions which aren't normal to the normal
Mm-hmm.
job, day-to-day job, right? So I had an opportunity to kind of jump ship and go work for my business as a personal support worker, which is basically I just take care of old people with all their needs and everything that they need, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, like a babysitter, I guess. Um, but that wasn't something that I really wanted to do. It was more of an opportunity to just make more money and get out of the security aspect. Um, but then I started having back problems because it's a very demanding job.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I was off work for about 3 months. And that's kind of when I joined. I just looked up on Google. I said, how do you make money online? And then somehow the algorithm on my Instagram shifted into one of your pages, and then it would say like, oh, you can make money in 3 months, this and that. And I was like, oh, really? That's awesome. Okay, let's try to do that. And then that's when I contacted you, but I was very confused about how you even do what you do. Now I
Mm-hmm.
know, obviously, but I was very skeptical. There was a lot of different other ways that I was trying to do, like you can hire a ghostwriter, do like your own books, sell them or something on a certain
Yep.
app.
Yep.
There were a certain amount of I guess, funnel pages that found through other people where I'd watch like 30-minute videos of just bullshit. I don't know. It
Yeah.
was just,
Yeah.
I don't even know what the hell they were talking about. I think it was affiliate marketing type of stuff, but like it's very it's very confusing if you don't understand it, and I was very confused. So you were the first person and probably only person that actually set up like a one-to-one type of thing. And then just by talking to you, I was just like, okay, this makes sense because I can actually talk to somebody as opposed to looking at a video and then possibly paying the money without actually meeting the person that I'm going to be working with or being taught from or something.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so basically that's how I met you. Very, very skeptical, you know that. It took me a while to.
Yeah.
I'm just, I think it's just the law enforcement background. I'm very skeptical and I'm very analytic about a lot of different things. But also a big reason why I wanted to change my life was I have a very, I guess, I have a addictive personality. No hardcore drugs or anything like that. It was mostly marijuana and alcohol that consumed a lot of my 20s. Basically, it was my way of coping with things. I learned from a very young age because I didn't know how to cope with my emotions. So I was introduced to something that made me forget about the issues that I was having to deal with. Started, especially back in high school, you're easily influenced if you don't have a good support system. I was actually very against smoking weed and
Mm-hmm.
even alcohol in like grade 9 high school, but eventually we all kind of wanted to try it and we
Mm.
did it here and there. I ended up dating somebody that was a full pot smoker, and then that high, high telling me into basically smoking all the time and dealing with my emotions. Didn't realize what kind of damage it was doing at the time.
Mm.
But over the years, I realized that it wasn't something that I wanted to do, but it was extremely hard for me to stop because I didn't know how to cope without it,
Yeah.
essentially. So now I'm actually not even sure how many days I'm sober. I think it's over 3 4 months that you kind of start
Yeah.
forgetting about it
I
after
think
a
I
while.
think it's 100 days plus right now, right?
I mean, I could check it exactly what it is now. But it's I know it's I think it's at 4 months now.
Yeah, it was above 90 definitely.
121 days. So
Jeez,
4 months and
121.
1 day.
Let's go.
Also, I just passed the 120 days. So that's 4 days. So that's crazy. Although I have been sober before for almost 2 years,
Mm.
but I didn't put in the right practices to keep myself sober. But it was probably the best I've ever felt at the time. No comparison to now. Now is like completely different. I don't know if you want me to go into that or not. But I have completely changed as a person. I don't like to say I didn't think I was capable of doing this. I knew I was always wanting a better
Mm.
life for myself, but sometimes you get to a point, especially when you're getting into your 30s and stuff, you start to think that you're kind of stuck in that way, that you're so set in your ways, and then you can't teach an old dog new tricks type of mentality. But right now is like, even though I have still a lot of healing to do and I'm confronting a lot of issues, I'm having a lot of transitions in my life, but this is the best I've ever felt, like ever.
That's really
Like
amazing. That's really
like
amazing.
seriously, yeah, like seriously, like I feel so good. Like I used to not be able to like get out of bed. I would be in bed all the time. Just the lack of energy to do anything or the motivation. Even if I don't have motivation now, I have the energy to. I'll still
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
Like the amount of discipline, and like I've never had this type of discipline before, and I don't know what happened. I don't know if it's just like
Yeah, but it's a
universe.
very funny topic, because you mentioned discipline, and it's I always told it on the client calls as well. How I perceive discipline is just everyone wakes up with 100 discipline, but everyone has so many different factors externally, like food, sleep, nutrition, everything, like impacting the way they live, right? Their brains, their physical body. So you have physical and mental, and the mental is just a consequence of how you treat your physical, right? So I feel like with you, especially at the beginning, that was very, very needed. And would you mind sharing like what kind of specific date you quit, right? What was the day?
The day, I think it was like January 17th.
Okay. And when did you
It
join the
was,
program?
oh, it was, I think it was like December 18th or something.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can
And it
remember you
was,
mentioned it in the obviously the community, and everyone was like,
yeah.
"Let's go, Agnes," And obviously the first weeks
Yeah.
were extremely hard, but then after that, it went just like this, which is life. But
Yeah.
um, and what do you feel like the kind of like trigger moment was for you, if that makes sense? So what was the trigger for you to say, okay, now is enough. Now is the day when I'm gonna quit. Like what
I
allowed
couldn't
you?
get high.
Sorry.
I couldn't get high anymore.
Hmm.
I had such a high tolerance that it was making me crazy because I was doing like the vape pen,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
which is an extremely high TH
THC.
content
Yeah.
compared to just joints, and if you're just smoking the flower. There's something about the vape pen which I think is very dangerous, and I don't think should have even been made. But of
Hmm.
course, it's allowed. I don't think it should be legal. I think there's chemicals in there that screws up in your brain, because I have never felt like that in my life before. I've
So the
never felt.
trigger the trigger was more so that you didn't feel the effects anymore. So you were like, why am I
Yes.
doing this?
Well, the effects, and it was making me feel like I'm going crazy.
Hmm.
There was some, like, I was trying to inhale it so much, and then I would feel like, I don't know how to describe it, because apparently manic doesn't mean exactly manic
Mm-hmm.
what you think it. Like, manic doesn't mean you're going crazy. Manic is more of like you have the intense energy
Yeah.
of, like, say, bipolar or something. So I've always kind of used it incorrectly, but it just kind of makes sense to use manic. But it just felt like I was going really crazy. I was extremely moody. I was very angry. Anger was a huge part of it.
Yeah.
I just I just hated everything. I hated my
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
I just didn't, I don't know. I was like going in a spiral. If I would have kept going, I probably would have ended up in the loony bin, honestly, because
Mm.
I just was not doing good, and I didn't want to feel like that anymore.
And do
And
you feel like, yeah?
um I knew that I wanted to change because I just felt like I was going down a really dark path, because it's either the next step would be harder drugs to be able to
Yeah, solve
deal
that
with
issue. Yeah.
something,
Yeah.
right? That's why they kind of call it the gateway drug,
Yeah.
or you get better.
Yeah.
And obviously, I want to get better. I don't want to be doing fucking crack heroin on the side of the road. Like,
Yeah.
that's not the life I want to live. I knew I was always destined for something better, but I just I didn't think I never had the right support. And sorry, I get a little emotional talk about this stuff. Um, it just, you have allowed me to get better. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you as well. Thank you as well, Agnes. I mean, yeah, it's been an amazing journey. Obviously, this call is more so to kind of share just a snippet of what we've been through. But
Yeah,
as you said, like that anger phase, we can just look back at it together and just laugh. You know, everyone in the community
yeah.
knows it, and everyone knows what that was like. But you
Well,
know,
yeah, I remember all my rants on the calls and just
yeah,
like, oh, why me? You know, the victim mentality. And
yeah,
that's what really changed. Where now I'm just kind of like,
ownership. Yeah,
yes.
yeah,
But like also just the not that I have perfect days, but just the way I think now is like, I have, you know, I know I'm going to meet the right people. I know I'm going to do well. I know I'm going to flourish. I know I'm going to succeed. I know I'm going to work well. Whereas
yeah.
before I was like, why is this happening to me? Well, I'm never going to meet anybody. I'm never going to
Yeah.
have good friends and blah, 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 this and that. It completely changed for me.
And then let's say you
Like,
feel bad right now, you're just like, yeah, well, what am I
it's
going
just
to
a bad
do?
day.
Yeah, but or what am I going to do right now to change it, right? Or what is happening, right? And then just attacking that problem. But coming back to all the way at the beginning, what made you even decide to work with me in the first place?
Well, honestly, you're just a good person. Uh, I just felt like we were able to have the thing is to have the conversation with people, because I can assess very quickly, just by talking to you, even though I couldn't see you. I can judge more by body language then, but I could tell by the tone and how you talk and this and that. Of course, I'm still going to be skeptical. I'm always skeptical about meeting
Mm.
random people on the internet, of course, that you
Mm.
should be. Um, but I could just tell you're a good person, and that you would be able to help me, and I was right.
Mm.
You've helped me change my life drastically,
And
and
what?
I just have, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. No, go ahead.
I just ramble. um uh Shoot, I forget what I was going to say. I don't know, I just had a good feeling, and I'm very high hypersensitive towards feelings, and if I felt like
Mm-hmm.
you were a bad guy, I probably would have picked up on that very fast.
Hmm. Well, it's lovely to hear. It's lovely to hear.
Of course.
And in terms of like the when you, for example, joined, right? What did you expect at the first stages of the whole program?
No clue.
No, you
No
were
idea
just
what the hell I was walking into. No, because I've never done this before. No,
okay.
I just like, I took a risk. I took a chance. I went with my gut instinct. I went through like different other funnels and stuff, and I'm like, no, this doesn't feel right. You know,
Yeah,
don't want to do this. This doesn't feel right. You were the first person that I guess I was able to talk to. I didn't talk to anybody else, essentially.
yeah.
Um, and Yeah, when I walked into it, I had no idea. This is why I went through the course through like a whole weekend, because I didn't know
Yeah, I
how
can
to do it.
remember. I can remember. You were like, Alex, I'm done, and I'm like, what? It was structured in 6 weeks. I was like, how are you already done?
I literally spent the whole weekend just back to
Yeah.
back with the videos because I had no clue what the hell, like how to make money online. Like I would hear affiliate marketing and stuff like this, but I don't know what that really means.
Yeah.
So even then I still kind of didn't understand it. But once you were through the calls answering my million questions,
Yeah.
now I understand. And now that I understand it, I get it, I guess. And
Yeah.
so, yeah. So it just, I don't know. Everybody, it's different for you. For your generation, they kind of understand this more. I
Mm.
have a more of a labor, go to school, get a diploma or skill or something, and then go to work for the rest of your life type of deal.
And if you,
But
for example, had advice for people from your generation, what would it be?
about this
Yeah, for
specifically,
example, yeah, what you've been through, right, for the last months through the program and everything around that.
um, I'm not actually sure because I haven't told. Well, that's not true. So, when it comes to my family absolutely has no idea what I'm doing because I know they'll probably criticize what I'm doing or think I'm stupid. But I do have two like older ladies that I talk to,
Mm-hmm.
and she's super hyped about this. She thinks that I'm gonna make something of myself, and she's just waiting to see what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, but I meant more advice as in like people listening to this, right? Maybe people that are in your situation right now. Like, what would you, even a different way of framing the question, what would you advise yourself if you were to look back at the Agnes you were at the beginning stage? What would you give yourself as advice when you were at that point, knowing what you know now?
What kind of advice I would give my older self?
Yeah.
I would say, ooh, I would say, take the risk, try something new, at least try it first before
Judging. Yeah.
before judging it. Yeah, because I kind of judged it first, and maybe some days I was kind of like, screw this, I'm giving up, I don't want to do it. But if you keep trying,
Mm-hmm.
then you might discover something that you like, or you have new opportunities that come up to you that could change things. It's just more of like, don't give up. If you have a specific vision in mind that you want to do, and if you've had the opportunity to do it, like, keep going, keep trying it. Don't Doesn't matter because it's not ever going to be perfect, and you're not going to like every aspect of a job that you do. There's going to be mundane tasks that you just don't want to do,
Mm.
but you have to keep that vision. Like, that's pretty much what I think about every day. It's just that vision of what I'm working towards, even though I hate kind of going to my current job. But I'm like, well, this is one day that's step closer to my vision.
Yeah.
And so that's what really keeps me going.
That's
And
amazing.
even staying away from marijuana and like
Mm-hmm.
barely drinking and stuff like that. Like, I've never done this before, because even when I quit marijuana for 2 years, I was heavily drinking.
And do
Now
you
I'm
and do you feel like you would have been able to achieve that without making and taking that step?
I don't think so.
Hmm. I mean, it's
No.
very powerful, because you can use the exact same lessons as well, which is very interesting for everyone listening as well for the future, right? There's going to be 100 million struggles in life, which is what life is about and what makes it so fun, right? But it just depends on how you look at the struggle. So, what I want to do now is quickly just go into your page for the people that have obviously listened to this so far, that they kind of get an understanding of what you've been able to do, besides obviously the major change of yourself. So, I'll quickly share my screen here. And as you can see, this is Agnes's page called Gym Desire. She has a page around gym, right? Well, maybe you can walk people through it, about your page, kind of promote it.
So basically, I started a gym page, more so leaning towards like a motivational um, page, rather more so than anything, I guess. And it's just directed towards being able to discipline yourself to I just think gym is a huge component into your health, and
Mm-hmm.
it really helps. Like for me, it's a like a big stress reliever, and I think it is for many people as well. And just like a good outlet to get better, like just get better, like
Yeah.
healthy wise,
Yeah.
right? And even if you want to, I guess, obtain a certain physique or something, where I have always struggled myself in, I know a lot of people have body dysmorphia, if not probably everybody.
Yeah.
The gym helps a lot because you can obtain a certain, I guess, ideal physique if you want to.
Mm-hmm.
And so basically, my page is just the motivation, and then there's also comedy and humor around it. Bodybuilders that like C-bomb and stuff that won the Olympic, yeah, like him, yeah, like just like, but then also with some humor in there as well
And
because
where do you get your content from?
basically right now I set my algorithm on my Instagram page to mostly gym content. Excuse me. A lot of the content comes from like other theme pages, but also from other, I guess, personal pages as well
So
that
basically
have
reposting.
reposting. Yeah,
Yeah.
basically like pages that they seem new or at least low in followers, but they've gotten like large hits in
Yeah.
views.
Yeah, I see you have a couple of very, very viral videos, and it's very funny to always share that it's far more easier than people think to get a viral video, right? And as you probably know now, it's all about consistency, staying consistent with the
Yes.
thing, doing it over and over, and especially with your page. Basically, the steps you took were to create your page, or well, first, I guess we'll just map it all out what we did with you. First, we mapped out who you are, where you're at right now, your current situation with everything, right? The addiction at that time. Then we moved away from that, really designed and put everything into place so you could remove that big burden on yourself and that big chain you attach to yourself and just unshackle it and just move towards that vision and that goal of creating an income online, right? Because I feel like if we would have done it differently, it would have gone to shit, right? You would have started this with the current problems and current things you were going through, then doing this, and then from there, you would have just walked into the first wall and then quit, right? And that's the probability that a lot of people have online with starting an online business. So it's very cool that we first did that, and obviously you overcame it, which was my biggest, um, I wouldn't say concern, but my biggest like um, yes or no moment, right? It's like a crossway moment. Either she does it and she's on a good path, or she doesn't do it and it just takes longer to go to the second path, right? So it's just a longer transition, which is also fine, but it's you want to do it right now and boom, you want to make a decision right or left. So I guess then we started a page around the topic you wanted to start one around gym desire, and chose your username to nice keywords, especially in this page and this niche. In terms of the following amount, it's not been crazy huge if you compare it to, for let's say, Ollie, right? It was gained
Yeah.
30K.
Yeah.
But I feel like for you, it was less so to do with the followers and gaining a lot in that, but more so yourself, right? Preparing
Personal
yourself,
development
yeah,
was a
and
huge,
laying that
huge.
foundation to then scale onwards after this call, and the next months to come, and then reposting, staying consistent. And the fun thing is that this is also kind of like a little trick that I guess you subconsciously did for yourself, where you posted content around a topic to hold yourself accountable to, right? So you came into the rhythm and the routine to collect content around a topic you liked and got motivated by, right? So this was also a very, very helpful, beneficial thing for it. And I also love the reason why you obviously started it around this, which was to help other people, you know. So yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
And obviously the amount of viral videos you've been getting, it's been crazy. And yeah, it's hard work pays off. 100 followers back in the day, it was super big for you, and now we're at
Yeah.
2.7K.
I was even super excited at 10 followers. So I was like the first
Yeah,
day, yes, 10
let's go.
followers.
Yeah, but
Now I have
technically,
almost 3,000, and like honestly, I
yeah,
know it doesn't go like it hasn't gone as viral as Ollie's and stuff, but I believe in myself, and I don't care how long this takes. I'm gonna keep being consistent. I've been consistent ever since near the beginning where I left it, I think, for like a week.
Mm-hmm.
And then that one random video became viral, and I've been
Yeah.
consistent ever since. I have not missed one,
Yeah.
like one
Yeah,
one day, not even one
but
day.
now
I can't.
the belief is shaped, right? The whole belief is shaped with being able to get that viral video. So you know it now. So now it's just a matter of hitting that lottery again. It's kind of like, in a way, a positive form of addiction. You know, it's
It kind of is. I honestly
yeah.
can't, like, if I have those days where I'm like, I don't really feel like finding a video or something like that, and then I'm just kind of sitting there. It's like, okay, no, I have to do it. I can't just leave it.
Yeah.
It's just like I can't. It's like an addiction now for me. A
Well,
new healthier addiction.
yeah, exactly. I mean, it's amazing to see that whole transition obviously take place, and yeah, again, you've done it yourself. You know, obviously, the program and us, the community, me, obviously, were the first stepping stone in it. But you know, you have to choose it yourself. You know, you can't discredit yourself as well. You did it yourself, and yeah, in terms of going back, let's say you were able to go back to the point where you started, would you have made a different decision in terms of working with me, knowing what you know now?
No, I would still make the same decision.
Hmm.
Of
And why is
course.
that?
Like, why would I choose a different route if this is working?
Very true, very true. And let's say in terms of the next steps and looking at other people maybe watching this interview right now, what are the key things you would recommend to them? Right, maybe about the program, maybe about the journey you've been through. Right, like a few tips about that.
I think regarding the program, I think you should take the risk if you're willing to put in the work and if you have a specific vision of doing something online, but you have to stick with it and do the grunt work,
Hmm.
and you have to have discipline for it, which transitions into personal life, which where I have myself somehow got this discipline from
Mm-hmm.
somewhere, I don't know where, but maybe you, I don't know. And basically it's the baby steps of doing kind of like one thing at a time, because you can't completely transition your whole life in like a matter of a day or a
Yeah.
night, and then it's kind of like you have complete crap habits, and then the next day you want to eat clean, you want to go to the gym, you want to take a walk, you want to do this, you want to do that. It doesn't work like that. You have to take baby steps of one time at one day at a time, and essentially, because
Yeah.
that's what I did. Right now I'm kind of like, it's like I'm peeling the onion,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I'm First it was the addiction of getting through, that month was horrible. It was, I'm not saying that if you're an addict that it's all peaches
Sunshine
and
and
cream.
rainbows. Yeah.
Yeah, that you're all of a sudden going to be better and say in this position. It took a lot of months for me to get to the point I am now. There's a lot of doubt. There's a lot of self-loathing talk, a lot of bad talk to myself, especially during the trying to get clean. It took me a month to get off just marijuana, let alone hardcore drugs. It's going to take a lot more time and a lot more
Yeah.
will and discipline, and probably a lot more help, to be honest.
Yeah, but I feel like for
But
you it was more so that you gave yourself room to grow and to go through that process, right? At the beginning, the anger just came from not being able to do it as quickly as you wanted to, and then you just realized it was a process, and after you accepted that, it just becomes a natural flow, and then when you're in the flow, it's very hard to get out of it. So yeah, I think the things that just set it in place obviously were the program, us, the community, etc. But we're gonna wrap up this interview a little bit. It's been a really good one, but it's also a pretty long one. So
all right,
yeah, what would you recommend about, or would you recommend the program to anyone else listening to this?
I would definitely recommend this program to anybody who's listening. Alex is a great mentor. He full like blown will help you in any way that he can. You take care of your clients, you respond accordingly, and you respond pretty fast. And I think it's you take the time and the like initiative to, you push us to, like, you've pushed me to do what I'm doing now, and I think I really needed somebody to do that. And if you kind of need someone to lean on a little bit, I think you're a great guy for it because you've really helped me. And you care about your clients, you care about the people who are around you that want to do the work, that put in the same energy. um, and you're like a non-bullshit type of guy. Like, you're just straight to the point, you're very bold with what you do and with what you say, which is kind of like how I am, and I think this is why we relate so well. So I don't know. I think, connection is a very strong thing. Also, it's like if you're connecting to people and if you're having like the same type of vision and same type of path, even though it could be a little bit different, it doesn't have to
Mm.
be the same vision exactly. But if you both kind of want to achieve the same thing, which I think is just to help people, if you want to help people, then this is the right place to come to.
I really appreciate it, Agnes. I really appreciate it.
No, no problem.
And obviously, not to take this credit from you, you know, you did it yourself as well. This was just a tool you needed to go for it, you know, and that's what I love, especially about like the transition we've made, but then also for other people to come as well, is that it just has to do with you. It just has to do with the people who just need the tool or just need that little thing that they're missing, and then they already have it in them, right? Everyone had it in them. If I truly, like, this is a like bold statement, I guess. If I believed that you didn't have it in you, I would have never let you in the program. You know, and that's what I do to keep it very tight with the people who actually do join, that I know that we can make that transition, you know, regardless of
Yeah.
how active, how fast, how quick it all goes. It's just that whole transition that's amazing. But also, a last quick question I do want to ask you about your page that I just remembered. It was more so about the time you spent on it. So let's say you look back, what's the average amount of time you spend on your page per day?
Per day. Now uh, it's less, but because I kind of know what I'm doing. Before it was, I don't know, maybe up to 3 hours a day when I first started. More so, it was just doing a lot of research and trying to figure out what works, hashtags and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's more so it's the engagement. I find my videos pretty fast. And then the engagement of like the increments of morning, afternoon, and
Evening.
evening.
Yeah.
Um, I usually spend, I try to spend, like, because my account is older now, I'm able to send out more messages. Um, so altogether, I don't know, maybe like 2 hours a day altogether.
Mm.
It
And
does
that,
take a lot of
and in the
time.
beginning stages, like just the activities to run your page, right? How much time do you think you were spending on that without the research?
Without the research, probably not much because I kept action blocking myself
And
because I was spending too
what's
many
not
minutes.
much in like a specific number?
Um, Maybe an hour a day
Hmm. Okay.
without the research. Maybe not even because I can only do like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So yeah, so like an hour.
All right. Well, a very thank you, or big thank you for you to obviously hop on this interview. And do you have any last things you want to share with other people before we end this meeting?
Take the risk, be bold, and just do the work.
Okay, well, I love it. I love it. Well, let's see where we go from here. Maybe we can have another client interview in a year from now, right? Just like a mini Agnes episode update. Um, but yeah, again, thank you also for joining. You know, it's been fucking amazing. And yeah, I'm very curious to where we are going to go with this.
Me too. I'm super curious, and thank you for being you.
Thank you to Agnes.